Welcome to domain and range of functions. We're just going to do a couple quick examples of this and then we'll move on and talk about inverses. Domain and range. Easiest way to do this is by graphing and looking at the graph, but you do have a non-calculator section on the AP test. So if you can't graph, the next easiest way is to think about what x values, or in the case of range, y values, don't make sense. So let's say number 9 is non-graphing. If I look at this one, what x values don't make sense? Well, if I have a root, what's the kind of number that you can't have? Negatives. Can't have negatives. So I'm going to say, oops, still on the laser pointer, x minus 1, I want to find where it is going to be greater than or equal to 0. Because that's where the function makes sense. Actually, I don't even need that root. I just want to find where x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. Because if the inside of that root is greater than or equal to 0, you're set. Your answers are positive. You're good. So solve this, add 1. So my domain is going to be where x is greater than or equal to 1. Now, range is a little trickier. Honestly, the easiest way to do range is by graphing. So we're going to do that one this way. Go to our graphing calculator, y equals, type it in. I've got square root of x minus 1. And graph. There we go. Now if we look at this, ooh, where'd it go? There it is. Right here, that's our point. So our range, our y values, go from 0 up to positive infinity, aka those are the y values that the graph is going to hit. So I'm going to come back over here, not that one, this one. Range is going to be y is greater than or equal to 0. Now these are written in inequality notation. If the question asks you for interval notation, here's what you have to do. So x is greater than or equal to 1, we're going to have from 1 to infinity. Infinities always have parentheses because you can't reach them. That 1 has a bracket because it's included in the function. If we went up to 1 but didn't include 1, then it would be a parentheses. So for the y, we're going to include 0 and up to infinity. So that's how you write it in interval. With that, go ahead and try number 10. You can graph it if you like, or if you want to just think about rational functions and what doesn't make sense, you can do it that way as well. Okay, so for number 10, there's your domain and range. I did it in interval notation and inequality notation. You only need one. Just choose whichever one makes the most sense for you. I actually prefer interval notation over inequality notation, so that's usually what I'll use in class. Number 11, go ahead, pause the video again. They already give you a graph, domain and range on your own. Okay, domain, negative infinity, up to 0, 0 to 2, 2 to infinity, all with parentheses because we're going up to that point but not including it. Range, you need to be extra careful. Now, if you look at the bottom half of the graph, range is from negative infinity up to 0, and we're getting closer and closer to 0 but never touching it. However, the top half goes from 1 up to infinity, and we are including 1. So we want to have a bracket on that. So that's all for domain and range. Come back for the next video.